Emma had always prided herself on being a friendly neighbor. So when a new family moved into the house next door, she decided to introduce herself and welcome them to the neighborhood. The family was polite enough, but Emma couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off about them. She couldn't quite put her finger on it, but she sensed that they were hiding something. Emma's unease grew when she noticed that the family seemed to only come and go at night, always under the cover of darkness. She tried to convince herself that they just had odd schedules, but she couldn't shake the feeling that they were up to something nefarious. One night, Emma was awakened by a strange noise coming from next door. It sounded like something heavy was being dragged across the floor. She got out of bed and went to her window to investigate. Through the blinds, she could see that the family's lights were on, and she could hear muffled voices coming from inside. Her curiosity getting the better of her, Emma decided to investigate further. She snuck out of her house and crept over to the neighbor's window, trying to listen in on their conversation. What she heard made her blood run cold. The family was talking about a plan to rob a local jewelry store. Emma couldn't believe what she was hearing. She had to do something to stop them. The next morning, Emma called the police and reported what she had heard. The police investigated the family and discovered that they were indeed planning a robbery. Emma was hailed as a hero in the neighborhood for stopping the criminals from carrying out their plan. But after that night, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. She would often catch glimpses of the neighbors staring at her from their window. The family's presence began to make her feel uneasy, as if they were still up to something. One night, Emma woke up to find a note on her pillow. It was written in a scrawled, barely legible handwriting that read, "You shouldn't have interfered. You'll regret it." Emma's heart sank. She knew then that the family was not to be trifled with. From that day on, she avoided any contact with the neighbors, always feeling their eyes on her every time she stepped outside. One night, as she was walking home from work, she heard footsteps behind her. She turned around and saw one of the neighbor's sons following her. He was grinning a malicious smile that made Emma's blood run cold. She quickened her pace, but the boy kept following her. She tried to run, but he was too fast. Just as he was about to grab her, Emma woke up. She was drenched in sweat and panting heavily. It was just a nightmare, she told herself. But as she looked out her window, she saw the neighbor's curtains move, and she knew that the nightmare wasn't over yet.